Alright everyone, welcome to Data Decision. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how to create this particular dashboard right on your screen. Before we go ahead and start creating, we need to download the resources files that we're going to be using, for this dashboard. So once you have done that, go ahead and actually open up the PDF that we're going to be following to have the dashboard created. It's actually very, very important. So read through the PDF and see what exactly we're going to get into. So once you have done that, it is time for you to start creating the dashboard. So if you look at the dashboard, it's actually a very simple sales dashboard for a beginner and somebody who's just an intermediary user of Power BI. Every single dashboard actually created on this particular channel has a very unique thing I always add to it, which means if you watch this particular video, you're going to learn something new. So let us go into the dashboard. Over here, we have tracked the total transaction, quantity sold, revenue, and the year-over-year change. This is the most beautiful part of it that will definitely make you want to watch this and see what exactly I have done right in here. Check it out. If I select 2024 that does not have a previous year, I have a pop-up message right in here that tells me that no previous year to display value. Please select another year. Can you see how that is right now? Okay, so if I select a particular year that has a previous year, we quickly have the year-over-year change being displayed on the screen. So over here, we have the average item per deal and average deal size. We have the regional sales. And one beautiful thing is this, you can decide to change to transaction or change to quantity sold and revenue, and the whole chart will actually be updated. So it's something very simple and easy to create. I'm going to show you every single thing you need to know about this dashboard if you want to actually create it with me. So you have a little assignment right in here. If you have been watching my videos, you would have seen that I have done something, like what I have right in here right now, which is this particular part right here. I'm not going to show it in this particular video, so it's going to be your assignment. And next again is going to be this very part here, which is this particular average part right in here. So you need to actually get it created. It's actually in the PDF. It's your assignment. I willingly didn't do that. So go ahead and actually try it all by yourself and let me know what you get once you have done all of this in the comment section. So please try to support this particular channel. It's very important. I'm going to be dropping more videos right here every single time for you guys. So your comment is actually something very, very important. Let me know what you want to learn next. Let us get into the class. Before we come back here and actually start looking at this to create our, report, what we need to do is to understand the data set we're going to be using. So let's open it up. If you have it downloaded, you're going to see this particular sales data here and this one-on-one admission exercise right in here as well. So we have to load this particular one. It's very simple to be loaded. So here is Power BI blank slate. There is nothing inside it. Just go ahead and click on the blank report. So with this particular interface we have right now, we need to get data. Click on anyone here. Like click on this particular Excel. It doesn't matter if the kind of data we have is in Excel or CSV. So open the file. Here is it. It's actually an Excel file. If it is not, all you have to do is to come over here and make sure you choose all files. All the files you have will actually appear right in here. So let's pick it up. So here comes the data. I think we have this particular data set to be, clean. So let us check this particular 2% empty here. Why? In case you don't have the same, interface I have, let me show you how to actually, get it. So go over to view. From view, make sure column quality is actually checked. I have unchecked it. We have the same thing now. If you don't have it before, now go over here and make sure you check this particular one. So, and again, always turn this one on, column profile. That will actually help you to view every single column and see what is going on. Like if I actually highlight this particular column right now, it gives me the distribution of this particular column here. Can you see? Then if I go to product as well, it gives me some analysis before we even start analyzing. So we have more cloud tech products than any other product. That is what it's telling us based on the count. So over here, as you can see, 99% of this particular column here is not actually valid. So what do? We just have to delete it. Right click and go ahead and remove it. That is the advantage of you turning on this particular column quality here. Okay, so let us check around and see if we have any other issues. So we still have some. So all those ones here, they're actually blank. You can see 100%, blank. So we just have to highlight all of them. By holding our shift key, we can actually select all of them at the same time. The list key on the keyboard will take them off totally. Okay, so now if you can see, we have 2% empty. To verify that, click over this particular place and uncheck everything and check null, then click on OK. So as you can see, we have to check across and see if we have any valid data. So we have units sold for a particular date. Can you see? But there are no records for sales rep, region, product, and even category. And we don't even have the quantity sold. We don't have it. Okay, we have it. We don't have the prices of the product and how many revenue was generated. So this time around, if you're working for a company, you need to actually ask a supervisor or a boss to actually know what to do today. But in my own case, I'm going to take it off. What I need to do is just to make sure I check everything. I only need to uncheck null, then click on OK. So it's gone. So we should have everything to be 100% okay right now. Valid. Let's see. Okay, why are we having the opposite? We have empty to be 100%. Now, I'm going to take this off quickly. Okay, we have reset it. Then let's go back here now and uncheck again. Then click on OK. Okay, now it has been fixed. It's not the other way around again. So let's see and walk around and see everything. So we have everything to be okay, 100%. That is fine. Make sure your data type here is date, not date and time. It must be date. So once you are actually sure that everything is good, let's go over to home. Then we click on close and apply. But before we do that, let us click on enter data here. So what are we trying to do? I'm trying to actually create a table that we are going to store our DAX right in. So just type DAX house here, then click on OK. So this particular table we have just created can be created using DAX, and it's easy as well. So it's actually a disconnected table. Let us go ahead and load it to Power BI. Close and apply. We have a very simple data to actually work with. So come over to table view to take a look at your data row by row and column by column. So wait for it, it's going to pop out right now. Can you see it now? Very easy. Okay, we have just done this. The next thing you have to do is to save your project by clicking over here. So make sure you save this. It's important. Right now, you have to open up your PDF and let us get into the analysis. So the first one here is all about doing the overall KPI. So it says total sales, like money and items sold. Find how much money we earned and how many items we sold in all of 2024. And we have to do the same thing for January to July of 2025. So we're going to be calculating the growth as well, growth or drop. So compare the two amount of money, or say whether 2025 is higher or lower and by what percentage. All right. So this is actually what we call year-over-year change right in here between 2 years. So let us focus on this particular one and see what we can do to achieve this. So if you think you know Power BI, why don't you pause this and do it, then come back and look at my solution. Let's get into it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to actually understand my data. So coming over here now, I have my unit sold and my unit price. And again, I have my revenue already calculated for me. So all I have to do is to confirm if this is 100% correct. So inside Microsoft Excel, what we normally do, we add a new cell. So over here, we call it a new column. This is not an ideal, but I just want to show you to prove if the multiplication between this and this are correct. So what do? I'm not going to name this. I'm just going to go ahead and type unit sold, then multiply that by what? By the price. So which is going to be the unit price over here. So if I hit my enter key, I'm going to have this. So if you look at it, everything here corresponds to what we have in this particular older column, which is revenue column. That is nice. Okay, we don't actually need to keep this. I'm going to actually truncate it quickly. Let's go ahead and say delete. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go over to here. So because I already have a column that calculates my revenue for me, all I need to do is to go over to DAX House, then right click inside the DAX House and create a new measure. Now, we have two types of measures, which is implicit and explicit. What we're about to create right now is actually an explicit measure. So now we go ahead and do total revenue. So equals. So what we're going to use here is the sum function. The sum function here sums the revenue column for you. You don't need to recalculate it again. We already have a column that captures it. Then we just do the sum function. So right now, if I drag this in here, what is it going to give to me? It will give me a number, 5.74 million. Then if we drag the actual revenue into here, so we have the same exact number. Both of them are correct. But right now, what is the difference between this and this? So on this particular one here, which is this very one here, we cannot reuse it again, right? This is where it stops. It defaults to sum. Let me show you the proof. If I come over here and click on this one now, then go over here and go over to this particular summarization, then those are the default calculations that we actually have inside Power BI for implicit measure. But as for the one we have calculated, there is no way it actually summarized it for us. Can you see? It's actually blanked out. So we can reuse this particular one over and over again, but this one, we can reuse it. So despite that, they both give us the same value. This one is much more better than this one. So this is implicit, like inbuilt calculation. Then this is the explicit. So this one is external. We did calculate it all by ourselves, right? So what is next right now? We want to know the quantity sold. We already have a column that captures that. Then we can quickly go ahead and add a new measure. So right now I have made a mistake to create my measure inside my data. But don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you how to move it. So here it's going to be total quantity. So sum of what? Of quantity or unit sold over here. So we have this, right? So before we come back and see how we can do that, let's quickly go over to a PDF again. So do we have any other KPI? So we have this particular growth here to be created, right? So let's see. I think those are the KPIs. Okay, I'm going to add one to my KPI. And what is it that I want to add? I want to actually add transaction to my KPI. But before then, if you look at this right now, it is sitting inside this very table right in here. So what we want to do is to make sure we move it to this particular green part. So how do we do that? If I go over to here and click on any other columns now, and I come over here, I see name and the what, and the name of the this thing we clicked on, the column. Immediately I click on total quantity here, I see something like this again. So we can, okay, if I go back again and click on this, can you see? We see name, we see data type. By the time I click on quantity, I see how, like, I see this particular home with a house icon, and it's giving me the table where we have the measure right in, and this is the name of the measure. We want to move it now. We click over here, we'll click on DAX House. Automatically, this particular place is going to change to DAX House, and it has been moved successfully for us. Okay, inside here now, the measure I want to add that is not in our PDF is to actually count the numbers of transactions we actually made 5.74 million from. So just type in here transaction. So we can actually use a function called count rows. So what does count rows do? The count rows will actually go into our table, because if you look at it, The count rows is actually looking for what? Looking for, okay? So it's looking for a table. So the table is going to be this particular table right in here. So it's going to count how many rows are contained inside this very table. That will be the numbers of transactions that actually helped us to make this particular amount of money right in here. So if you look at it now, over here, it's giving you, what you're going to actually receive when you actually put in your table. That is the count of the count, like count the numbers of what? Of rows inside a particular table. So let's do that. So we bring in data, and once we close and hit our enter key, we already have that. Can you see how easy it is right now? So this is cool for newbies. So if you're actually getting started, this my explanation will help you to actually get it done. Now, as you can see, we have 400 transactions and we made this particular amount of money right here. Then we can bring in our quantity sold. Can you see? This is turning into something. So 11,000, items were sold. All right, the next calculation right now is to calculate the year-over-year change, which is something very, very simple. So we don't have to open this one down. We can close it, then right-click and create a new measure. So now we can call this one last year. Y for last year equals. So if the end users might want to go to the back end to see what is going on, so ly might not be well understood, to the end users. You can actually leave a comment here. So by saying ly means last year. Can you see? So it's optional. If you don't want to do it, no problem. So now what you're going to do is to use the calculate function to calculate our revenue. So now we have a function called date add. So this date add here is actually looking for what? Looking for a calendar. That is a date. So this is where we have to go back and actually create something that we don't have already. That is, a date table. We don't have it yet. So what I'm going to do right now is just for me to Control A, Control X to cut it. You understand? Then we actually go ahead and create a date table before we actually do this particular step. So go over here. It's a very quick date table. It's not something very complex. So now click on Table Tools and New Table. That is all you need to do for now. So we're going to call this one calendar. So equals. So over here we have add columns. So aside add columns, we're going to actually do calendar auto, which is this very one here. If I close it, shift enter, I have it closed, then it's going to give me an error until I actually add something here. So put a comma here, shift enter. Now what I want to add is the year. So I want to add the year. This is the name of the column I want to add. Now inside here now I'm going to use the year function. Then with a square bracket you have this particular date, which is the date that this particular calendar auto generated for us. If I go ahead and close it right now and hit my enter key, I'm going to have two columns. So can you see the date column and this particular year right here? So the date column is actually what this calendar auto generated for us from our data. So in case you want to understand this better, check out my other videos. You're going to understand exactly how this works better. Okay, now next thing we have to add now is month. So to add month, we just do month and put a comma here. Then we do inside here we're going to do format. So with the format now we bring in the date, this one. So comma here, MMM in 3 places, then we close. And quickly we have to add a new column, MN. MN here that I just added now simply means month number. So we use the actual month function here with the actual date column. And once we have done that, we hit our enter key. So what is this giving to us? We have the month number here. This month number has to do from 1 to 12. And we're going to use that particular month number to sort this one. So make sure this particular column here is selected. Once selected, go over to, just collapse this one to make it easy for you to see what I'm doing. So make sure the month is selected, go over to sort by column and sort by MN, which is month number right in here. Okay, always leave some kind of comment here. So MN means month number. So this will even make you yourself not to forget this, and whoever comes to this particular back end here will understand exactly what is going on. So I told you we don't need too much. I'm going to stop it at this, and now what we need to do next is to go to table tools here and go over to this particular where is it, mark as date table, then turn this one on, select the date from here. It's going to validate it successfully, then save it once done. Then let's go quickly to this particular modeling view here. Then once we are here, the next thing we have to do right now is to drag the date to the date of our calendar here. Let us move this one away, and we can actually move this one to this end here. So drag either this one or this one into here, and you have many-to-one relationship. Then click on save. So we have done what we really wanted to do. So next now is to click on this particular part here, and let us add a new measure. So if you have not forgotten, I actually copied something into my clipboard. I still have it. I'm going to paste it right in here. So now we can bring in calendar date over here. So this particular date add that we are using right now, we can go back, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 2 months, 1 month, whatsoever. So if I put my comma right now, it's asking me for a number of intervals. So I'm going to do -1. Then comma again is asking me for what interval do I need? Do I need the interval to be in days, in months, in quarters, or in the years? So I'm going to use the year right in here. So just click on the year and you have it. So go ahead and close, shift, enter, then you close this one, you hit the enter key. That is exactly what you really need. So can you see now? So we now have the previous year. So what we are interested in is not actually the previous year, but we are much more interested in the year-over-year change. You see that now? So let's quickly go ahead and see how we can get that done. So if I right click, go ahead and add a new measure. So over here, what we have to do is to type in year-over-year change equals. So the next thing we have to do right now is for we to actually use something that will make us not to have multiple measures. And that is going to be what I call variable. So variable actually helps you to, write multiple measures inside one single measure. So we call var. So over here, I'm going to do underscore current. So current here simply means I can actually say current revenue if need be. So current revenue. So we're going to store in here total revenue into it. So shift enter, we create another variable again. So this particular one, we call this one previous. So previous year. So equals, and we store in the last year into this. So we're going to create another one now, and that variable to simplify it. So we're going to do here difference. So for the difference, what we need to do right now is to take in our current revenue from our previous, revenue, previous year revenue. So shift enter here. So the next thing now is going to be the result. So we can do another variable again, and the variable here I'm going to call it result, right? So with my result, shift enter. Now I want to calculate what is the changes between the 2 years. So we're going to use this particular divide function here. So the divide function will actually divide the difference we have actually calculated by what? By the previous, which is the previous year. So shift enter, we close, and now we can go ahead and actually return this. So what are we returning? We're going to return the underscore result. So I might be fast, you just have to pause this to make sure you look at what I've done and understand every single detail before you move forward. So can you see this now? It's sequential, it's very easy. So can you see? Let's quickly go ahead and take a look at the result we're going to have. If I bring this in here, I have something like this. So it's in decimal number. So all we have to do is to click on the measure itself, then go over to here and click on percentage. So we have 62.8%, approximately 63%. We can go over to our calendar and bring in the year over here. So make sure what you're seeing is actually, this particular slicer. And let's come over to our format and change the slicer we are using. So we want to change the settings, then between, then we choose style, then we can individually click on this. So now, if I click on this now, we are having blank here. Who can actually answer this question? Why do we have blank on year-over-year change when 2024 is actually selected on our slicer? Nobody? I believe somebody must have known what it is and must have actually answered the question. So the reason why we are having blank here is simply because we do not have a particular year before 2024. So if I select 2025 right now, it's giving me the drop of 37.1%. Can you see now? So if there is no selection, this is what you actually have. Once you select a particular year, you're going to have something like this. So I want to actually customize this and make sure we don't have this kind of error, blank. It's not really healthy. So to some boss that does not understand what this is going to actually call it an error, and it's not actually, a negative error per se. So we're going to customize this. I'm going to show you something, much more advanced to actually get this done. But for the time being, we are going to stop it at this and actually go further. And when we come back, we're going to make it better. So let's quickly go ahead and minimize this one and keep it somewhere around here. So please now create with me. Let us put this one over here. Make sure you position it at the same spot I actually positioned mine. It's very important. So I'm going to take the quantity sold and actually position it over here as well. Then I'm going to position this particular one over here and position this over here. So we are already building our layout by doing this. It's very important you notice that. So let us select what can give us view. Nicely done. Okay, this is exactly what it is. If we go back right now to here, we have achieved the first question over here, but not holistically. I'm going to still do some kind of conditional formatting, but for now, we have achieved 99% of what the question is actually, talking about. Now, let us look at what question 2 is all about. So it says, which region sells the most? So put the 4 regions in order. List them from highest sales money to lowest. So do the same list for sold item. Sold item. So now dig into the top region. In the region which with the most money, so name the product category that brings in the most cash. So tell what percentage of that region's money this category makes. All right, I'm just thinking of what I can do to achieve this right here. It's a little bit complicated, but we can both achieve it together. Do you want to try it? Like, pause the video right now and go ahead and try it all by yourself. Then come back and see what my solution is like. Because even me, I'm still doubting if I can do this. But with you and I here, we can do it together. So let's see. All right, let us quickly go into it now. So over here now, what I'm going to do is to actually create a new visual here. With this particular new visual, I'm going to bring in my sales. I think let's go back to it again. So this is region. Okay, it's region. So I'm going to go over to my data and bring in the region into the chart. So once I bring in the region into the chart, I'm going to bring in our revenue into it as well. So let us go ahead and use this particular clustered column chart here. So quickly we have to actually clear this particular axis. We don't need it. Then title under the x-axis, we don't need it as well. So we go ahead and actually take it off. So let's take off the title first, then go for the y-axis. The title and the values should be turned off. So once done right now, the next thing we have to do is to make sure we actually answer the major question. So the major question here says, in the region with the most money, name the percentage, name the product category that brings, in the most cash. Okay. So this is where we have to start thinking of how are we going to do this. So to me, it says over here, tell what percentage of that region's money this category makes. Okay, let's do it. I have an idea. So quickly, I'm going to step off from this particular part. If I've done this now, I have to open a new page over here. On this particular page, we're going to go over to page information. Then over here from standard, I'm going to choose tooltip. For a reason, you get it right now. So going with tooltip right away, I'm going to go with the default. Then inside here, I want to go over to category and drag category in it. So we have our category here. Then I'm going to drag in the revenue into it as well. So we have the revenue, but this time around, I'm not going to use a chart. Instead, I'm going to actually make sure I'm using a table like this particular one. So can you see it now? This is what we have. So we have to quickly format this into any number formatting of our choice. So choose any currency of your choice, right? So once we have done this now, the next thing we have to do is to make sure there is no decimal number. We just put 0 over where we have auto write in. All right, so before we talk about the formatting, we need to add another measure, and that measure will be created in here. So go to new measure and let's see what we're gonna have. So over here, we're gonna call this one PCT. So PCT simply means percentage. So grand total, right, equals. So what I'm gonna do here now is to actually calculate the percentage of grand total of my category. You get it right now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use the divide function. So the divide function will divide, total revenue. So I'm going to remove filter from my whole table, not only from category right now, from my whole table. So how do I do that? I am going to use the calculate function over here. Sorry, I'm going to have an error. So I mistakenly hit the enter key. No problem. So over here, I'm going to use the total quantity again. And I'm going to say, I want to take off, our filter using all selected. So we can use all and all selected, but they have different functionalities. Watch my other videos to understand what exactly this is doing. So now we're going to use the data. The data is the table that contains our whole data, our transactional data, right? So shift enter, we close for this particular calculate here. Shift enter again, we now close for the divide function, then we hit our enter key. So this is a percentage. We have to make sure we format it into a percentage. So if you don't want to be two decimal number, you can just put one decimal number by putting just one over here. Round it up by one decimal number. All right, so once we have done this now, the next thing we have to do is to click over here and bring in the PCT you have just added. So here we go. So over here now, if you look at it, you can just go ahead and drag it this way. So this is what we have right now. We can actually go ahead and format this to make it look better. But before then, let's quickly go over to here and do sorting. So we sort by revenue and we make sure we sort by descending. That is what is very important. So we can get back in here right away, then click on this particular table, then we go over to properties and we choose tooltip, then we go ahead and actually select this particular, report page over here, then from auto to page 2, and if we hover over this particular one now, we are seeing this. So what the question is, if we go back now to the question, it says in the region with the most money, name the product category, that brings in the most cash. Tell what percentage of that region's money this category makes. So if we go over here now, this is the this is the region that brings in the highest money. And if you look at it right now, 30% belongs to cloud services. That is around $478,572. Can you see it now? It's very easy. But the tooltip is not really cool right now because we need to actually format it. Let's do that quickly. So we can go over here and make sure this tooltip looks much more better. So we have to work on our format. Let's go over to preset here, then choose none. So once you have done that, it's going to compress, don't worry. Then go to the grade here and put this particular weight to 7. If need be, it's total 10, then let's just use 10. Then once you have done that, we can actually go ahead and go to the total. Let's go to the total and turn the total off. So I'm going to go ahead and centralize it now. I don't want to do too much here, but we just have to do something. So let's go over to this particular cell element here. Once we are here, we need to go over to the revenue and make sure you turn on the bars here. So if you want to change the color, go over to the FX here and you can see the color that is actually right here. You can actually change it to more calm color like this one. Let's try it. Okay, can you see it now? So you change to the percentage here. On the percentage, I'm going to use font color, or if need be, I'm going to use the background color here. So now we go over here. We just go ahead and choose the same exact color and click on OK. So can you see it now? The highest one is being highlighted for us. Then we can quickly go back and test it out to see what exactly we have done. So you see, this is better. So I told you I wouldn't do too much right here. So we have just answered our question. So can you see how that is? So whoever has actually, paused the video and try it out to see what this can actually, bring without looking at my video. So how far about what you have done? Does it actually correspond to what I've done, or which particular, style did you use to achieve it? This is exactly what you need to do. So right now, what I'm going to do is going to be this particular one here, sales rep. So over here it's actually talking about the top 3, sales rep by money end. So for each of these particular 3 sales reps, so you have to give what the average deal size is and the average item per deal. So the biggest slump, so which reps lost most money. So this is actually talking about the top and the bottom. So the performing sales rep and the underperforming sales rep. Let's try it. So I'm going to keep this one over here. It's important. Please do the same thing. So now what I'm going to do is just to Control C, Control V to paste. I'm going to bring this one over here. So once I've done that now, I am going to come over here and take off this particular one and bring in sales rep. So once I'm bringing sales rep now, we only need top 3. So what we need to do is to go over to here, under filter here, and go over to sales rep and click over this basic and select top N. Then make sure you actually use the 3 over here. Then we have to drag back in our revenue into this particular part. Then we click on apply. So once we have done this now, we already have the question being asked right here. Can you see the 3 sales reps here? Okay, I'm going to keep it somewhere around here. Control C, Control V to paste it. And this one now, we don't need to do too much. All we have to do is just to go over to this particular part and click, then go over to this very top end and okay, the top here, we select the bottom here. Then once we apply, the names will actually change to this. So we have just answered this very question over here right now. Can you see how simple and easy it could be? Now, this is our last chart over here. So over here it says, do we have busy or slow times? So monthly sales chart, Draw a simple line chart of money and each month from January 2024 to that of 2025. Point out the biggest peaks and the lowest dips. So now, best single sales day. So which exact day made the most money. So name the product which the sales rep and that drives it. Okay, this now has to do with another tooltip again, and that set of tooltip right here again. Okay, let's try to see what we can do about it. So right here now, this is going to be something simple as well. So, but you have to pay attention here. So let us put in a line chart over here. On this line chart, what we need to be here is going to be the month. Go over here and drag the month into it. So with the month, we bring in our revenue into here, something like this. So quickly, we have to quickly some kind of now we have to quickly clean this up. Let's turn off the filter for now. We don't need that. The suggested. Now let's go over to this one. Then scroll down to the y-axis and turn off the title and turn off the value. Then for the x-axis, we just have to turn off the title alone. Then if need be, you can actually crank up the value to make sure it pops out very well. It's all a choice if you want to do that. Okay, once you have done this right now, I want to go to the line chart. So the line aspect of it here, so go to line and you scroll down under this particular linear here, select smooth line. You can see it has changed. All right, so once you have done this right now, the next thing we want to do right now is to actually mark the lowest month and the highest month. That is easy. So let's quickly go over to this particular build. From build, click over this, y-axis, click on add, and click on this particular part right in here. So once you have done that, it's going to open up this particular part for you, whereby you can start typing something in. So let us mark the max. So to mark the max now, the max area, what we need to use is actually iterate through our month here and find out which of the month has the highest revenue generated or made the highest money. So I have what I call max x. It's an iterator. So we can actually use the rows to make sure it goes through it row by row. So now and verify. So you put a comma here and it's asking for the expression. The expression now is going to be total revenue. And this particular total revenue must be present inside here, otherwise it wouldn't work. So once I've done that, I'm going to close and hit my enter key. Guess what happens? It's going to actually fill it in on every single row. So this is crazy. This is not what we actually want to have. We just want to mark the highest point, which is this particular part right in here. But right now, we have a flat line. So how do we make sure it's only pointing at this one? And this particular flat part of it right here is not more here. It's easy. Let me show you. So click over the pencil icon to edit it. So over here right now, let us copy this particular part. Exclude the equals and the max, which is the title. So once copied right now, at the back of this one here, let us use the word if here. So I'm going to say if this particular one here is equals to total revenue, which is if this particular number is equals to any of this number right in here, comma, what I want is for you to actually, give me this. Paste back what you've copied. Give me this. Otherwise, these two double quotes simply means give me nothing. So if I go ahead and close and hit my enter key right now, let's see what happens. So we have gotten this particular place being pointed at. That is how easy this could look like. So remember when we actually looked at the PDF, it's asking us to actually point at the highest, the peak month and the dip, which is the month that we actually don't make a lot of money. So what we need to do right now is to click over here again and copy this particular part as a whole. Control C to copy, Control A highlight, Control C to copy. So once you've done that, you just have to click over the add again, then go over here and paste in what you have copied in here. So instead of max over here, I'm going to just do mean. So over here now, we are using max. So I can change this one time. So we have it at two places. Do highlight this particular two x's and we just do Control Shift L. It will highlight every places we have max double X is right in, then we do MX, which is, sorry, we do MNX, which is min X. So if I hit my enter key right now, let's see what is going to happen. Can you see it now? Here is the min, here is the max. This is exactly what we want. So we can actually step off from this particular part here because we have actually solved the situation. Can you see now? So do we actually need the legend? No, we just have to go ahead and turn off the legend. We don't need to keep it. So this is what we just need to actually have this right in here. At this particular stage, before we do any other thing, we should actually create a background that we want to use to actually, make this look better. So right now we have, created what we really want as the measures. So let's see how the background will look like. So open up PowerPoint. So as PowerPoint is opening, let us take a screenshot of what we have right in here. So to take a screenshot now, you do Windows Shift and S. So this will give you a quick way to take a screenshot without using a third-party software. So just go ahead and highlight. Let's go to our PowerPoint here. So click on Presentation, the blank one, this. Okay, once this is opened, highlight, delete. Right, so Ctrl V to paste it in. Then click over this one here, Ctrl D to duplicate it. So once you have done this now, let us take off this particular one off. So we're going to use this one. Right click and go to Format Background here. So let us use a dark background. You can use a white or a lighter background, depends on what you really want. I'm going to go with this particular one here. So we have something that looks as dark as this. The next thing we have to do is to go all the way to this particular insert here. From insert, we can actually go ahead and insert shapes. So we take off this particular rounded rectangle and drag it all the way to this particular part here. Something like this looks better because it's going to be where our title will sit on and the slicer. So something like this looks much more cool. So go over to shape format here and we align center. Then that will give us equal edge between this place and this place. So click on it and let us change the color. Go over to this particular more colors, then click on custom, and over here now we have to change this one to 441, 41, and 41. So we click on OK. And now we go over to line, then we say no line to it. So this is what we're going to have. Something that looks just like this, right? So once we have this now, the next thing we have to do is just get this one duplicated and bring it all the way down. We can make it small, like this for now. So now we just have to click on more colors. So what we need to do right now is to use a different colors. What we need to do right now is to use a different color for this particular card here. So go to custom, and over here on the RGB, this one should be actually 1.8. Then over here for the green, we do 20, 20, then we do 23. Then it's more darker, and this version is cool. All right, can you see it now? So this is not actually finished yet. So we need to actually have an outline for it. So that will make it to stand out very well. So if I step off now, it's okay, but having an outline makes it look better. So go over to the line and click on solid line. Then go over here, go to more colors, and right here now, we have to get it done. So 8.9, we do under 8.9, under 8.9 here as well. So click on OK and step off it. So we have something like this. So now I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Then the rounded corner shouldn't be too much. Just add it a little. So keep it somewhere around here and make sure this particular gap exists. So Ctrl D to duplicate it. Duplicate again. Keep this over here. And that duplicate and keep this over here. Let's go back and see what we have done. So if you look at it, this is the four cards we have actually created. So now we need 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Let's see what we can do. So I'm going to take this one now, keep it around here, and just stretch it to this particular end and bring it all the way down. So leaving a very small, white space here. Then duplicate again and keep this one at this particular spot here. So you get it now? So I'm going to actually stretch this one to this end here. Then the rounded corner shouldn't be too much. Reduce it and bring this one down here. So on this one now, I'm going to duplicate this one and bring it over here. Then make sure you reduce it and Ctrl D to duplicate. Then keep this over here. So close the gap a little bit. So here you go. You're going to have something that looks like this. Can you see now? This looks much more better. So if the outline is pretty too much, what you can do now is to go over here and try to add a percentage over here. Let us do 30%. And let's take a look at how it looks. So I'm going to do 50% of it. So 50. Here you go. Nicely done. So just take this, or you can actually select this, hold the control key, select, select, select this and this, and over here you just add 5. Then 50% is being added to every part of it. So nicely done. So what is next? We are done now. You can go ahead and click on File, then Export, then change file type PNG. So I'm going to do BG for background, then click on Save, just this one. So now we are back here. The next thing we have to do now is to actually choose this particular canvas background. If you can't see this, that means you have selected a particular visual. Don't select anything, just go ahead and actually click on it. And here we go. So make sure you drag this one to 0%. Nicely done. So we have this. So it is time for you to start cleaning this particular place up, and we're going to have something very beautiful. All right. It is time for you to start getting this cleaned up. So what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I some kind of sit them rightly in the box, just like this. This one too is going to sit well right here, and I'm going to actually make sure this one sits right in here. Can you see that now? Once we have done this, we just have to hold our control key, select all the 4 cards, then let's go straight up to the format area, this one here. Then click over the size and style, then go down to background here and take it off. Oh, that is good. Okay, now all we have to do is to make sure we change the color of our numbers. Then we want to choose a bright color like this one with 10% darker. That is great. Okay, this is too huge. I'm going to put it at 30 and let's see what we get. Oh, this looks great. Nicely done. The next thing is for we to go over to this particular category label here. And I would love to use something like golden color. Let's click over the more colors here. And the next thing we have to do is to change this particular RGB or the hex code, right? So for the red, I'm going to use 160. 160. Then for the green, I'm going to use 136. Then we use 82. Then we get this. So if you look at it right now, it's not popping out the way, I really love it from the background. So this is where you can actually play around with the color it has actually mixed up for you. Let's go this way and see if we can get the brighter version of it. Okay, I think this one pops a lot. Let's go with this one. So you cannot see the number here. Then choose whatever pops, on your own screen. Is actually better that way. So this is what we want to get, and we already have exactly what we're looking for. So the next thing now is for we to actually, clean other cards up, or other chart rather up. So I'll go over to here and increase this a little bit. So let's put it at 14 and see. This is great. Nice. Okay, so we're going to focus on this particular part right now. So we have to just make sure we bring it all the way down here. Then for those ones here, just bring them down. Bring them down. Now on this one, let us concentrate on this one. So fill it up to this level. Let's quickly go over to size and style again, then turn off the background. Once we've done that, we go off. Over here, we're going to come first of all to the x-axis and change the color to pop out very well, like this one here. That is great. Once you've done that, we just have to go to the line area. Under the line area, you click on the line. So right now, if you go to the color, you wouldn't see anything. So click on the color, it's going to be blank, and you can't actually select any color. So what I'm going to do is just to go all the way up, and under all, I'm going to choose total revenue. It's important. So scroll down now, you can see the color here. Then we choose the same color we have used for this part. All right, so if you look at the dotted line here, this particular highlight over here, we need to do something right on it. So before we do that, let's go all the way up here, then click on title. So on the title area, what we want to have right here is going to be so we just have their revenue generated on a monthly basis. Can you see something like this? So we can increase it to be much more bolder. That is great. So what if we change the color to match this? Interesting. So I want to actually add a subtitle. Click on subtitle over here, open it up and type in something right in here that best describe how the chart is actually communicating things to us. So over here I'm going to say the color circle. So we change this one to this. Let's go for more brighter white. So we just increase the size, not too much. So can you see what we have now? So let us deal with the highlighted part here. It's not popping out now. The next thing we have to do is to go over to this particular markers. Under markers, we choose what we want to affect right now is the max. So with the max here, we want to go straight up to this particular show for this series. Now here we go. We can increase the marker to be much more bigger. Then we scroll down, we pick up color. Then we want to go for something green because it's a positive value. So just try to get any color feature is right here. So I'm going to copy this because I want to need it later. So once we have done that, we go all the way back up and we choose the mean right here. So for the mean, turn this one on. We'll go over here and increase it to 7. So we just go ahead and pick up this particular color here. That is great for the mean. So next again, what we need to do is to bring in the data label, right? So scroll the way down, go to data label, click on it right here. So we have turned data label on for every part of it. So this is not what we want. We have to select here and go to this and turn it off. So we only want to leave it turned on for mean and the max. So we have just done that. Select the max, then go to value here, scroll the way down. Now scroll down and choose the background here. So once we have done that, open up the background here and let's go over here. So we should have this. So now we want to click on this particular color. And now we have to choose the position we want it, right? And the value should actually pop out very well. So we want to go over here and select, let's see what white will look like. No, it's not going to pop out very well. Select the black, like this one here. Then next, what we need to do is to straight up, go back up, go back up and choose position. So we choose above. Interesting. Can you see it now? So we're going to do something like that for the mean. I think here's going to be the mean over here. So the mean we choose below is under. Then we scroll all the way down to here and turn on the background. Go over here, select and choose this. Then return this to 0%. Then we want to go ahead to the value area and we choose what can actually pop out. Okay, this looks great already. Okay, so here we go. We have something like this. So we have just done this particular part right now and it's looking very beautiful already. The next thing is for you to focus on this particular one. So we can actually format one of these cards here and apply it to others because they are the same cards. So what I'm going to do right now quickly is to go over here and from here go to size and style, then turn this off, click over here and go over to the x-axis, then make sure it pops out. Here we go, nicely done. Once we are done with that, we want to go to the title area here and here it's going to be. So that is revenue generated by region. Next again is for we to change the color of the chart. So go to column here. Under columns, we just have to go down and choose the same exact, can you see now? So we need to actually put on a data label and turn on data label right in here. Then open it up and scroll all the way down. Then we have to change the color of the data label is important. So we go over to value area. So scroll down to pick it up. Here we go. Now it's popped. So all we have to do is just to go over here now and apply the same exact thing right here. So we just go ahead and arrange it to make it look better in here. So you do the same exact thing to this particular one. Interesting. So we have exactly what we want to see. Can you see it now? Looking much more better. All right, so we have one thing that we have not done. That is on this particular part, we have to do something over here. So we're going to do it. So next again is for we to actually add, a title for dashboard. So the company name or the company's logo, whatever you want to actually add there. Click on insert and quickly go over to text box. So you type whatever you want to type in here. So this is what we want. So you can actually, make sure you position it rightly. Once you've done that, next thing you have to do is to go over here and turn off the background from here. It's not important. So make sure you highlight Ctrl A to highlight the content inside the text box. Then go over here and change the color to give you what you want. Let's go with this one. Then increase the font size to like 24. Nice. So step off it and let's see what we have. So we just have to make sure we show everything just like this. So can you see how it looks now? It's exactly what it is. So next again is going to be this particular one right in here. All I have to do is to go over to here and settings. We want to go with the drop down. So we just want to make sure it's sitting right here like this and go over here and turn off the background. So if I select something from here right now, it's going to come up this way. So you can choose any month or any year of your choice and your dashboard gets some kind of filtered. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is to look at what we can do to this particular one. So what I want to do is this. If 2024 is actually selected, I want to actually leave a message. Instead of having a blank over here, I want to leave a message that says no previous year to display a value. Please select another year. So how possible do you think that is? That is the question you need to answer. So, and this will disappear when that particular message popped. So can you just pause this video right now and try it all by yourself to see what you can do with just imagination using DAX. All right, if you have tried it and it doesn't work for you, let's do it together. So what I'm going to do now is to go over here and go over to this particular DAX house here, then right click over here and create a new measure. So we have this particular calendar here. This calendar has the year, and aside the calendar, we are going to actually use an if function to actually get what we want. So hold your control key, your plus sign to zoom in and zoom out with plus and minus. So in and out, out, in. Okay, over here I'm going to just type in to be info, whatever you want to call it, is all your choice. So once we have done that, I'm going to create a variable here. This variable is going to actually help me to store in my active year, right? So with the active year right now, is we're going to use selected value over here, and we type in year from our calendar like this. Shift enter. Then the next thing we have to do is to actually say return. So return this quickly. What we need to do is to use the if function. We're going to say if. So if what? If underscore active year, right in here, if it is equals 2024, then what do you want to have? You want to have a message. So right here, you can make it more dynamic without hand coding 2024 right in here. You can return the minimum. I think, is it the minimum date? Yeah, the minimum date should maybe in the long run, they want to see what actually went on in 2020, then this will not work again. But this is going to work with the data we have right now. So over here now, I want to say no previous year to display value. Please, short form, select another year. So this is all you need to do. You are actually learning DAX now, and I believe this is going to make your DAX journey very swift. So let's go over to the info, click on it, and right now you have this right here. It's very huge, so what we need to do is just to compress it. So click over this particular part and go over to here, turn it off. Then click over call out value here and go over here. Let's do 15 and see what goes there. So I want to change the font to my favorite. So we go over to this particular comic. So nicely done. So I'm going to make sure I compress it to fit into the box here. Like this over here. So here we go. We have this. Look at what happens if I select 2025. We have blank here. It's not giving us what we want. And again, if I take it off right now, what we're going to have is, a negative value already here. And this one should actually disappear if this comes up. So we have to think of what we can do to make sure this one is not reflecting when there is a positive value. The only time this one shows up is when there is actually a selection of 2024 like this. This one should actually disappear and this one should come up. You get it right now. So think outside the box and see how you can actually solve this particular situation. You understand? So the next thing we have to do right now is for we to go over to, I'm thinking, so over here, our formatting should start from here. This blank, we don't want it. So we have to go to year over year, right? So while we are here, we just have to use the conditional formatting on this. So I'm going to say if this is equals blank, then give me blank, otherwise return the results. Let's see if this one works. So if I hit my enter key, if it works, we shouldn't see the blank again there. Okay, it has disappeared. So the problem we have right now is that this particular year over year would actually still appear, because what we wanted to do is when we actually overlap this one here, we go over to this particular part here and we use a conditional, darks here on this particular background to turn this one off. You get it? So now let me do this. I'm thinking, okay, we have to write the darks. We have to write the darks. That is going to be a transparent so if you remember, we have this particular last month here. Can you see? That is last year, rather. Last year right here. So you already have this right here. So we're going to use it right now to condition what we want to see. So new measure in here. Don't forget to subscribe if you're still watching. It's very important to help this particular channel to grow. It's important, please do that for me. So now we have to go ahead and do transparent card. So over here, we're going to say if. So the if now is going to be if last year over here is equals blank. Then what we want to use this RGB, A. So inside here, we're going to do 0 into 4 places, 0, comma, 0, comma, 0, comma, finally 0, then we close. Then otherwise, you have to return the same thing. Just copy this particular part and be lazy a little bit. So before then, you just have to close this one here. So copy this part and return it to this. So Ctrl V to paste it down here. So this is all you need to do to create a transparent card over here. This is going to actually be used over this particular part right now. So make sure the card is clicked on. Once the card is clicked on, go over to size and style. Under here, instead of us to turn it off, we just click over here and we click on this particular part here. So we set it to field. Over here, we just type in the name, transparent card, then we click on OK. So can you see it now? So the problem we now have is this. We have this one showing up. So what we need to do right away is for we to go to our card and make sure we give the card a color. So let's give it the text inside it a color. So now it's overlapping with this particular one. So which means we just have to go ahead and turn off this one and create a dynamic one instead. So how do we do that? Let's copy this particular one to be used. So right click over here and go to a new measure. I love this, seriously. Okay, now paste this one down and type in here title. So over here is correct. This particular part now, we're going to take it off. So if it is equals blank, then what we want is give us blank. Otherwise, right now, we want you to give us year over year change. So let's hit the enter key and see what happens. So once we have done this now, the next thing we have to do is to bring this one into a card, our title into a card. So our title now is actually blank. We can come over to here. I always love to go ahead and collapse this and bring it back on. The reason why I do that is that if I have this opened, have a lot of things opened over here, and I want to go to a specific place, I have to start searching to get to where I want to go into. Instead, I just collapse it, bring it back on again. You understand? Then everything gets closed for me. So I can quickly go to where I wanted to go. So now turn this off, and let's go ahead and select a particular year. So once we do this now, this one comes up, and this other one disappeared. Can you see how this looks now? So don't worry about this one. We're going to take care of something over here in no time. So let's go with this one and try to get it to give us what we want. So let's do 11 and see. So now this one fits in here. Make it smaller. I'm going to keep it over here. Then quickly we go over this particular part, turn it off. Now we go over here, click on that. So click on this one now and make sure you go ahead and turn off the category label. So here we go. So I can just take it up a little bit. So once you're done, make sure this one is situated right in here like this. Nicely done. Okay, this one here is showing blank. So how do we deal with the blank that is showing up right here? Let's go to the info. So we have to put otherwise here. So put a comma here and two double quotes, then hit the enter key. The blanks should be gone. That is cool. So you see that now? Let us put it over here and see what happens when this is selected. So can you see what I have just done? In fact, this might not be needed. You can just show blank or 0. But just for me to show you, if you have any situation that needs to actually have a transparent text, done, you already have the way to get it done. And this is how easy and simple this one could actually be. Okay, so we have something to be done here. Over here, I'm going to click on it. So what we're showing up here, if I go over to this particular filter part right here right now, it's top 3 sales rep. You understand? So we just have to add a subtitle to it to make it look much more better to understand. So go under this and click on subtitle. Then with this, click over here. Let's quickly go ahead and choose a color. Then we have to fill this particular part to showing. All right, so this is what we have. This is well, titled. This is all you need to do. So the only part I want to just, do something right now is this particular part. I'm going to come over here, go to value, and make sure the value is actually showing up on white. And we want to scroll down. If I click on this one now, we can't see the text any longer. Go to the background here and decide to change the background to something that will actually show up quickly. Then let's see. I'm going to go for this or something a little bit darker than that. Okay, this one looks better. Can you see it now? Then the title here should actually show up very well. Then